Hi, and welcome to That's Ruddy Mysterious, a podcast of short tales about true mysteries. What happened to the Flannan Isles Lightkeepers? Who was responsible for the Gardner Museum heist? I'm not going to solve those mysteries, but they'll be interesting to learn about. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. Transcripts for all episodes can be found at that'sruddymysterious.wordpress.com. No apostrophe and no exclamation point. Today's tale is about fairy circles in Africa and Australia. On satellite images of two areas in the world, large, barren circles placed in the shape of a honeycomb pock the land. To some in Africa, they are footsteps of ancestors or gods. Fairy circles are large circles of barren areas in arid grasslands. The circles are first noticeable when they are around 7 feet or 2 meters wide and can grow up to 39 feet or 12 meters in diameter. They are frequently encircled by a ring of healthy grass growth. The circles are found in monospecific grassy vegetation and in arid conditions. They are regularly spaced in a honeycomb pattern. They have life cycles of 30 to 60 years and die off when grass begins to overtake the barren areas. Fairy circles only appear in two places in the world. They first appeared in the Namib Desert in Namibia, about 100 miles or 160 kilometers inland. The circles begin in Angola and extend southward to the northwestern Cape Province of South Africa. That's a distance of about 1,500 miles or 2,400 kilometers. This area is an extremely remote and inhospitable area. The fairy circles here were first seen in the 1920s. The people that live in the area use the circles for agricultural purposes, saying they are good for grazing. Many also say that they have spiritual and magical powers. The only other place in the world where fairy circles have been seen is near a town called Newman in Pilbara, West Australia. They were first seen here in 2014. The fairy circles are visible in satellite images of the area. The local Aboriginal people have lived in Australia for over 65,000 years and say they have seen the circles before. What causes fairy circles? The myths of the Himba people who live in the Kunene region of Namibia, where the circles can be found, say that the circles were created by gods or spirits. Some believe the circles are the footprints of gods. On the other hand, others believe that the circles were created by their original ancestor, Mukuru. The myths say that the circles have magical powers. Some tour guides in the area tell tourists that the circles were created by a dragon in the earth whose breath kills the vegetation within the circles. Scientists have a few theories about what causes the circles. Originally, they believed that competition of the surrounding vegetation for water causes barren patches. The water collects within the barren patches and then flows to the grasses on the perimeter of the circles. In 2004, scientists came to believe that the fairy circles are caused by toxins from dying plants. In 2012 and 2013, scientists began to believe the circles were caused by termites. Sand termites can be found in 80 to 100% of fairy circles and in 100% of all new circles. This theory was first put forth by Norbert Jurgens. It was criticized by Florida State University biologist Walter Schinkel. He says that the termite evidence is not proof of causation. He says it is just a correlation. At the same time, some scientists concluded termites were the cause. In 2013, Michael Kramer and Nicole Barger came to the conclusion that the circles were caused by competition between grasses. They said that the competition for resources is the same thing that causes some crop circles. Those crop circles not caused by people, that is. In 2017, Karina Tarnita, a theoretical biologist at Princeton University, combined the two ideas, saying that the circles were actually caused by a combination of both underground termites and plants above ground fighting for resources. This became the accepted explanation. The two most accepted reasons had been combined. Other scientists have explored the theories that the circles may be caused by poisonous gases or plant-killing microbes or fungi. In 2020, Dr. Steven Getzen from the University of Göttingen in Germany measured rainfall in the area. He noticed that grasses grew in the circles right after a rain, but then died off quickly. He said that the top 8 inches of soil within the circles dried very quickly. He wondered if that was because the plants surrounding the circles were using the water. Dr. Getzen said that he didn't find any termites at the study sites. His final determination was that the circles were caused by desiccation. The desiccation was caused by the surrounding grasses using the water quickly. More recently, in 2021, some scientists studying the circles in Australia came to the conclusion that those circles were caused by hydrological feedbacks and the Turing mechanism. In February 2023, a study suggested the circles may be caused by hydrogen seeping through small cracks, and that hydrogen-loving microbes might be consuming all of the other nutrients in the soil. In April 2023, a study was done of the Australian fairy circles again. This time it involved the local tribes and their oral traditions. It came to the conclusion that the circles were caused by termites. The study said that the circles were actually created over 12,000 years ago, and that termites have lived in and continued to build in them ever since. What causes large circles to grow in a honeycomb shape in arid, grassy areas? Is it termites? Is it a lack of resources? Are deadly gases escaping from the earth in those areas? Are they footprints of gods or dragons? What do you think? Thanks for listening to today's episode of That's Ruddy Mysterious. I'm your host, Kelly with an I. Tune in next Tuesday for another thought-provoking tale.